So Kelso and I really wanted to paint outside, didn't we?
Yeah.
The light is just flat. It's pretty overcast and it's been kind of drizzling on and off. So neither one of us, maybe he's inspired, but I'm not. We are set up in the kitchen. He just helped me organize my tabaret that is going to be going in my new studio if it ever gets done. And it's so nice to have everything next to me. I cut out these little pictures and just to show how tiny they are. See how small they are? I think I want to do some quick studies. And I might even want to keep this in the book, like do this study, like over here, kind of make it the same size. Let's do that. If I take my washi tape, double stick tape would be really good too. I think I'm going to go back to my daggone portable painter. I have so many things in front of me, but I love that these are the colors that are some of my favorite colors to use. I have made a few changes to my dried gouache palette. Just fabulous. Oh, I'm in love. So, and I also just filled up some of the spots. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to take my water, just activate everything. I think I'm going to take my fine liner and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to create a little box. I think I'm going to grab this 1/4 inch flat brush and just start laying it in. I could go in with pencil first, but I don't feel like messing around with that. I think I want to do an underpainting. One of the things I love to do for an underpainting is either do it with gouache or watercolor, and I think I'm going to use my primary magenta watercolor to do this. I love starting with an underpainting because it just gives me so much more confidence approaching my painting when I'm not just staring at blank paper. It also will shine through in certain spots and create this really cool effect. I do love using my heat tool to speed up the process. Now I'm mixing up a kind of like a light blue color. Whenever you have an underpainting, your color that you put on top may look different, so I definitely recommend experimenting. I did decide to go in with some white, and it might seem odd that I got rid of the white and I'm adding it back in, but I really like to lay in the land this way. And don't forget to add the whitish color, the lighter color where the water is going to be. So I did decide to add even more depth to the sky. This is what I love about gouache because there's no fear. You can just go in and layer light over dark, dark over light. You just don't have to play by any rules, which works for me. I wanted to mix up kind of a dirty color. So you can use a little bit of that magenta. And for that, I was using gouache mixed into the blue to give this darker purple, but the kind of dirty looking color. I really like this kind of color to lay in the very back of what we see in the photo. So that's kind of like that tree line in the back. We want it to be more muted, so I don't want to go in with really rich colors for the very background. And with laying in this diagonal, I love looking in terms of shapes whenever I'm painting. And even when I'm taking photos, that's really helpful because then you're going to have a more dynamic composition, which is going to be more fun to paint and definitely more fun to look at. Another great tip is to take a brush that's slightly damp. You want to keep drying it off on a paper towel, and you can use that damp brush to soften areas that you would want to soften, which I love doing for the clouds. Now I have 2 different shades, but if I'm being honest, it's more than 2 because I constantly am tweaking it just a little bit to lay in the different shades that I'm seeing in the foreground. And you really need to squint your eyes here if you're looking to get the gist of something. Don't forget to put the reflections in. I like to do this at the same time of when I'm putting in the actual, whatever it is, trees, a mountain, if you're doing a mountain. So you kind of have the same color. It's not a non-negotiable, but it does make the process friendlier, to say the least. And I'm still using this 1/4 inch
flat brush, but you use whatever brush you like. I like to challenge myself to use a bigger brush than I think I need. Even though if you look, this is a pretty small brush, but of course this is a pretty small painting. Using just the very corner, the little tip of my brush, I'm laying in what I see is more or less the outline of the tree shapes, not wanting to get too specific, painting every single leaf or branch. And of course, I put it in the reflection of the water. Then mixing up a lighter green color. As we get closer to the foreground, I want the colors to be more vibrant. Of course, this scene is not very vibrant, so we can make it either more saturated, we can make it darker or lighter in color, depending on the vibe of what you're going for. And I definitely like to add extra layers with what's happening in that background. And even having it go outside of the picture frame if that tickles your fancy. Definitely switch shades often and spread the love around. I really loved this kind of orangey, bright color that I created, and I don't want to put it everywhere because then I'm going to lose the effect. And I did the same thing with this lighter green color, layering color on top of color. And when I'm working in the water, I really try to go more horizontally and sometimes straight down to give the water effect. I grabbed a round brush because I do want to put a little bit of detail, not a lot, but a little bit. And you see how really thin the paint is. Twirl your brush so you get a nice fine point. I do apologize, my hand is in the way. I will try harder next time, friends. And I'm just putting in some of the trunks. Don't forget the reflections. You don't want to just paint like a continuous line everywhere because you're going to see leaves in front of some of the branches and the trunk of the tree. And I like using this brush to add other little details, and including like the sky that I lost in between the thinning trees. So I just used the kind of light color, even just white, and you can paint in the sky behind it. Again, a reason I absolutely am in love with gouache. I do jump around my painting a lot. I go from one edge to the other, all around, switching between brushes, going horizontally and pulling straight down to really give that effect of water. Remembering there is a color shift with gouache. So what do you think about tiny painting? I would love to know what you think about it. If you would like a step-by-step full tutorial of this painting, it is available for my Studio Master members, linked in the show notes. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.